Hey guys, Corey Correa here. Welcome to Blue Talks, and I hope you enjoy this video.
Let me ask you a question, those of you who are here at UCLA today, such an exciting place to be. How many of you know of a young person in the infancy of a committed relationship? Lots of hands going up. I can think of 3 off the top of my head. What an exciting time it is, right? So full of hope and optimism. There's all these dreams for their future. And as friends and family, we want so badly for these couples to succeed in their relationships, but not just in their relationships, but in every aspect of their lives. I'm here today to tell you about a gift that I'm convinced will be the most powerful, most impactful. I mean, this is the gift that they will highly treasure above any amount of money you could give them, anything off of their registry. It has the power to change their future forever and dramatically increases the chances that they will stay together long term. But first, a couple of stories. When I was a freshman in college, I was so poor, I didn't even own my own toothbrush. And unbeknownst to my roommate, I borrowed hers.
Oh.
All right, I'm actually kidding. I wasn't that poor. But I really did have to try to get by. What I did was I would sell my plasma to the local blood bank as often as they would let me. In fact, I went so often that I got scar tissue in my arms right here and wasn't allowed to go anymore. On my campus was this building called the Student Union. It was kind of the center of activity. And in here were restaurants where people could eat and socialize. And there were rooms where people could meet, like clubs and stuff. And there were some student services in there. And there was this area where vendors could set up their booths and tables and promote their products to the student body. So I walk in there this one day, and my eyes are immediately drawn to this area, like zoom, like laser focused. There are all of these colorful banners and balloons and lots of people milling about, really high energy. So I go over there, and this very nice looking young man says, "Would you like a free t-shirt?" Oh, and that's another thing, is there's like all these things stacked up on these tables. It looks like maybe they're giving things away. And he says, "Would you like a free t-shirt?" And I'm thinking, I'm a broke college student. Of course I want a free t-shirt. And he says, "Well, all you have to do is fill out this little form. It'll only take a minute. And in a few weeks, you'll receive a no obligation, no fee," I can see your faces cringing, "credit card." Oh, I'm not the only one in the room that this has happened to, right? So I'm a little leery. I don't know much about credit cards. And he says, "Well, you don't even have to end up using it. You can get the credit card and throw it away and still walk away with a free t-shirt today." So I'm thinking, this sounds like a plan to me. And there are like 10 of these guys lined up, like bing, 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 bing. And I sign up for every one of their credit cards. I get a free t-shirt and a hat and a CD, back when we used to listen to music on CDs, and a package of cookies and chips and some gift cards and stuff, and a toothbrush. And I head back to my dorm with all this loot, thinking I have just scored, right? Like I have totally pulled one over on these guys. A few weeks later, the mailers start to arrive. And I open up these packages, and I'm immediately hit with these big, bold words highlighted in confetti, like, "Congratulations," and "You've been approved." And my 18-year-old brain is going, we like approval, right? We like this a lot. And I'm thinking, what the smart thing to do here is to just keep one of these cards in my wallet in case of a, I'm not the only one, emergency. Emergency. I have to have it, right? If there's an emergency. So around this time, my school announces that they're going to host one of these formal dances. You know, where the guy asks the girl, she wears a fancy dress, they go out to a nice restaurant. And normally I would have just worn something out of my closet or maybe borrowed a dress, you know. But I'm at the mall and I see this dress and I'm like, I kind of like that. But I don't have enough money in my account to pay for it. So I did this little mental gymnastics routine and turned buying this dress today on my credit card into an emergency, right? Because it's on sale today. What if it's not on sale when I come back? And what if they run out of my size? And I've gotten a ride over here from my friend, and what if I can't find a ride later on? So my plan is to sell my plasma between then and when the bill comes due, and I will have enough money to pay it off, right? Maybe some of you have experienced this, but if you can justify a little credit card debt, you can usually justify a little more. And pretty soon, I find myself in significant credit card debt. Fast forward to today, and I'm a certified financial planner with extra credentials in financial therapy, money trauma, and the psychology of money. And I've spent over a decade helping more than 600 individuals and couples gain greater clarity and confidence around their money. Credit card companies pay me thousands of dollars a year in rewards points and cashback and travel vouchers. I am totally winning the credit card game. Story number 2. We'll call them Jack and Molly. Got married in their mid-20s, kind of fairly typical, and immediately started getting advice from family and friends that they should stop throwing money away on rent, buy a house, and start building equity. Sounds like a reasonable suggestion, right? But in this case, it proved to be catastrophically bad advice. They ended up losing the house to foreclosure. And their financial stressors, no doubt, played a role in their eventual divorce. What these stories illustrate is that young people in particular fight an uphill battle to manage their money responsibly and be financially successful. Not only are they fighting big institutions like banks and corporations who try purposefully to snare the young and unwary, but family and friends might offer heartfelt but often misguided advice. The good news is that young people have a superpower where they can turn a little bit of money into a lot of money, like just a few $100s a month into $1 million nest egg, by dollar cost averaging at a contribution rate of 15 to 20% of your annual gross income into a tax-advantaged account for the duration of an average career span, into a globally diversified stock portfolio of low-cost index funds with an assumed inflation rate of 3% and a 6% equity premium. There you have it. You don't have to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. You don't have to have a high income or expect an inheritance. You can be a teacher, a librarian, cab driver. Practically anyone can do this. If by some miracle you can cut through all of the misinformation and the dirty sales tactics and find your way through to the correct course of action, we all still have the additional challenge of overcoming the psychological, emotional, and even neurological forces keeping us from being able to follow through with what we know to be in our best interest. That's why at my company, Breakthrough Financial Wellness, we not only provide the technical education about things like investing, insurance, the homeownership analysis, taxes, all of that, but we also help people understand and heal the unconscious forces keeping them from being able to reach their highest priorities and goals. The Nobel Prize-winning researcher, Daniel Kahneman, discovered that 90% of our financial decisions are made emotionally. And yet hardly anyone in the financial industry acknowledges this fact. Here's some examples of what this might look like. Someone who experienced food or housing insecurity might hoard cash and commodities in an effort to mimic a feeling of safety. We often try to escape painful experiences by engaging in dopamine-seeking behaviors like shopping, gambling, drinking, porn. Someone with a scarcity mindset might find it difficult to enjoy spending money even when they have the assets and income to justify it. And someone who fears rejection and judgment might hide purchases or keep an account separate and secret from their spouse. Overspending, underspending, under-earning, workaholism, obsessively checking your investment performance, avoiding risk, taking on too much risk, procrastination, people-pleasing. All of these things are related to unprocessed emotions, lingering trauma, and the unexamined, unconscious beliefs that we carry with us from childhood into adulthood affect every aspect of our financial lives. Here's a news flash for you. Did you know that a 10-year-old is making all of your financial decisions? This is no joke. It's true. Our financial belief system, the set of principles that we use to guide our financial choices, are set in stone between ages 7 and 10, before we've had much of any experience with money. So picture a boardroom with a bunch of little third graders around it, their chins on the table and their chair and their feet dangling underneath the chairs, right? Deciding whether or not you're going to make this purchase or that purchase, whether or not you're going to log an expense in your budget, or you're going to move your money in reaction to a market swing. All of that is happening unconsciously. At Breakthrough, we offer a financial empowerment for new couples program where we uncover and explore these beliefs. Not only do we address the very important technical aspects of proper money management, like how to take advantage of compound interest, like the actual way to do that. We cover student loans, we cover debt, we cover budgeting, all of those things that you want your kids to know. We also help couples understand each other's hidden wounds and unmet needs so that they can face their financial problems from a place of compassion and curiosity. Communication is as important to financial health as is compounding. And being interested in your partner's internal financial experience is as important as knowing how interest works. Did you know that the intensity and frequency of money arguments is still the #1 predictor of divorce? Think about how different your life would be if you'd had this kind of instruction at the outset of your relationship. For all the young people in the room, can you see how valuable this would be? I sure wish my parents would have given us this program. It would have changed our financial future to the tune of several $100,000 and saved us from a lot of unnecessary relationship turmoil. For a relatively modest sum, you have the power to change the financial future of the couple that you love to the tune of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And this is not an exaggeration. The key is starting young and having the support you need to stay the course. Visit our website, breakthroughfinancialwellness.com. Sign up for one of our free informational webinars. Let us help you help the people you love.